Hi guys, it's Sherry. Today we're going to be working with some wood blanks that I got. You can see that I did a quick paint job on them. It's nothing perfect. It doesn't have to be because of us covering it up with our washi tape. So the first thing that we are going to do is get our Mod Podge. I just have the mat here. And we are going to put on a nice layer right on the top. I'm just going to wipe up the extra. And then I'm just going to go right across the entire piece, and I can cut the rest off afterwards. So I want to go right to the bottom. And I'm actually going to kind of press this right down onto my table to keep my piece kind of situated on the table. Let's kind of make this offset. Oops. And I want to try to line them up the best that I can so there's no space in between my washi tape. Okay, so my hole is right there. So you can see, let me poke my hole in here. All right. So right there's my hole. So you'll see that they're actually kind of going a little sideways. That was not my intention, but it'll work. So I'm okay with that. If you want it to go straight, make sure your piece is completely straight when you do it. So now I'm just going to put another layer of Mod Podge on. And I'm going to go over the whole thing because when you put the Mod Podge on, even on this little section, it'll get like stiff, so it'll make it easier to cut out. And now I'm just going to kind of go around and make sure I'm pressing my seams together nicely. Because I want my seams to make, I want to make sure my seams are on there nice. All right. And I'll do the same thing with this one. And now, because I did that one kind of a little crooked, I'm going to make sure that I do this one crooked, but opposite direction. And you definitely want to paint your blanks white, because if you don't, that tan from the blank will come through your washi tape and it just won't look that nice. So just do a quick thin layer of white over it. It doesn't have to be on there thick. It just needs to have white. All right. And then let me go over this one more time. And then, like I said, I'm going to make sure my seams are nice and down and button up against each other. Okay, so now you're going to want to let that completely dry. Once it completely dries, I'm actually going to do 2 layers here. Once it completely dries, I'll end up doing the back side the same way. And then once that's dry, I'll pop back on and show you what the next steps are going to be. Okay, so I trimmed this one up. I'll show you how I did that on this one. But what I want to do is kind of file my edges, because sometimes you get like this fraying going on. And I normally don't mind that, but sometimes it just is better to file them and make it look nice and clean. So you can see all I'm doing is just going right over it. I'm pushing down away from my piece, because if you push up, you run that chance of like kind of pulling your paper up. To trim them up, all you want to do is get a pair of scissors And then cut very close to the edge. And try to have a nice sharp pair of scissors because it'll make it much, much easier. Poke your hole at the top. And this one is still a little wet, so I'm going to actually let that completely dry before I do anything else with it. But while that dries, we're going to go on to the next step for this one. Here I want to get my resin mat. Okay, so I'm going to put a thin layer on the top here first. And I like to hold my piece down and then take my little, this is like a little tool here. I don't know what you call it. I use it for resin. But I like to take my little resin stick and start spreading everything around. And this will be my front side. So I'm only going to add pieces to the front, and the back I'm just going to resin and leave it plain. And then I'm just going to pull my resin up right around that hole and try to avoid getting the resin in the hole. All right, so now I have some jump rings here, different sizes. And what I'm going to do is just pick these up and put some jump rings there. And that's going to give me a nice little 3D look. I actually don't like that one in there, so I'm going to pull that over here. And I made sure that my jump rings were closed. I'm going to put one more right here. Maybe one up there. Okay, so once you like what you got going on, take your lighter, make sure there's no bubbles in your resin, and then put this under your UV light. And I like to put mine under for about 4 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to take my towel and I'm just going to wipe up some of that little extra Mod Podge. And then I'm going to take my blade, make sure it's a good sharp one. And then I'm just going to go right around and start trimming up my washi tape. Okay. So it's that simple to do. All right. So now I'm going to file this one. And let's make sure our holes are completely open on both sides. All right. And then I'm going to do the same thing to this one. And I want to make sure that I have my resin all the way to my edges. And you'll see if it's not to the edge because it'll be white. Where this kind of, once the resin's on, it kind of turns off white. So once it's on, it turns off white. And if it's not on there, it'll be solid white. So let me put this under. Okay, guys. So both my pieces are now resined on both sides, but look at that. Is that not really cool? I absolutely love how these came out. I wasn't sure initially how they would look, but I'm really loving the way that they are turning out. So my next step is to get my gold chrome marker. And as always, I love to finish my edges. You're going to want to make sure to get the inside as well, but do the outside first. I'm going to give that a few minutes to dry. For the inside, what I like to do is just take my marker and edge the inside just like this. And it fits right in there. Okay, so I got the whole inside done. So now I'm going to take my edge here and I'm just going to do the edge. And this will just finish it off where it looks so professionally done. And it'll look like it's edged off in gold. Now, I'll go to the top. I'll give that a little bit of time to actually dry. And then for this one, I will edge the top as well. And I'm going to do this on the back and the front. Let that dry, and then we can do the inside of that. Look how beautiful that looks though. All right, so I'm going to give this time to dry 100% so we can actually put the earrings together. But look how gorgeous that looks so far. I mean, is that not absolutely stunning? All right, my pieces are dry. I gotta tell you guys, I absolutely love this shape. I love this design. I think this came out fabulous. I really do. I think the gold jump rings with the gold marker, chrome marker, really looks beautiful together with the black and white. Just absolutely beautiful. Our last step is to put our jump rings on and then add our fish hooks. And I actually think I'm going to need a bigger one. Let me go with the bigger. So what I like to do, so I don't have to add 2 jump rings, is I'll take the bottom loop here and I will turn it and do it slow so you don't end up breaking it, because you will snap it if you do it too fast. And make sure it's closed all the way. Take your jump ring, open it up, put it through, and then add your fish hook. Whichever side you want to be your front side, make sure the part that goes in your ear is always facing the back. And there is our earring. So very simple, yet absolutely beautiful. It looks like you spent hours and hours doing it. And just close it. And that's it. There is our set of earrings, which I think are beautiful. I really hope that you find them as beautiful as I do, and I hope you enjoyed creating these pieces with me. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. subscribe. I will link where I got these blanks, and I will see you all next time. Bye.